Indeed, good question. Right, so now let's move on. Patrick, you've been in Brussels this week discussing the World Health Organization Pandemic Treaty.
Yeah, we went to Brussels to the EU Parliament, my first time to the EU Parliament. The EU Parliament, the people's pushback against the WHO pandemic tyranny. We're talking about the pandemic treaty and the international health recommendations, stroke regulations here. And we can see the photo here in this article here. We'll summarize this in a minute, but that's a team of dissenting MEPs led by, of course, Christine Anderson from Germany there, but her colleagues from Romania, Croatia, and France. And now this is an interesting development because what was launched here was the European Citizens Initiative. Okay, so this is actually, I know this is going to sound like an oxymoron and a shock to people, but there are actually democratic mechanisms in the EU. I know it's shocking, but the European Citizens Initiative is one of them, whereby citizens can come together from multiple EU countries, which is what happened here, in order to bring an issue up and perhaps influence policy. This is, a revolutionary in terms of Brussels, has happened before. I don't know about this issue here. And this is, you can see some of the people on the panel there. Nick Hudson in the foreground as well. Nathaniel Pawlowski, he is the son of the Canadian pastor, Arthur Pawlowski from Canada. He's there as well. Fiona Hine, she's an activist from London on this issue. Andrew Bridgen, you can see in the background. And then Philip Cruz, Swiss lawyer, who also was with Doctors for COVID Ethics on one of the symposiums that you did, Mike, as well, that we did previously. So they all had an opportunity to speak. The MEPs were also giving statements on this, as are the activists here. There's more details forthcoming on this 21st Century Wire here. Andrew Bridgen gave a quick reaction to this after this session. It seemed like a really successful meeting overall to raise awareness. But here's what former Conservative MP, now Reclaim Party MP, Andrew Bridgen had to say. Andrew Bridgen MP, how do you think the event went today, and what do you think the important takeaway points are for this?
Well, it's not the European Union, it's more like the United Nations itself, wasn't it? We've got a lot of nations from around the world. It's raising the profile. If the Citizens Initiative in the EU could work and stop the WHO power grab, I don't mind where it happens. We're all completely aligned. We all know the tyranny that's involved in what the WHO through the UN are doing to all our citizens. And I don't mind. I'm not proud. Wherever it stops, I'll fight and stop it. I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with my European colleagues, whether they're MEPs or members of their own local parliament. The sooner we turn the page on this dark chapter in our human history, the better for all of us.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Andy.
Thank you.
So I had a discussion with Christina Anderson off stage afterwards, and she said, it's going to be difficult to get this issue out through the European Citizens Initiative. It's a challenge, no doubt about it. The odds are against them, but she believes, as do some of the other MEPs and panelists and activists, that by coming together, by bringing this coalition of lawyers, of MEPs, of European citizens, of activists, this broad-based coalition, and people from very different political stripes on this, coming together, they'll be able to even override the restrictions within the often undemocratic European Union in order to go straight to the public. And Philip Cruz, the lawyer from Switzerland, who's kind of leading, one of the leaders of the legal effort there, he said that by bringing this up as an international issue here, by using this platform, they'll be able to then push it into their national parliaments. He said that's where it really needs to be on the national parliamentary level, your national and local government level. That's where the big difference is, because that's where the pushback, that's where you can exert your sovereignty against this clearly what is a WHO power grab to implement these pandemic regulations that give the WHO an unbelievable amount of power to declare a pandemic when it starts, when it finishes, vaccine mandates, restrictions, you name it. A treaty is legally binding under international law. So we have a year more or less. It's going to come up again in May of 2024. So there is time. So this battle is not finished, even though the WHO's committee have backed down last week. It's not over yet. So they're not going to give up on this. So people need to remain vigilant and do follow some of the activists and the people who are championing this issue right now.
Yeah, okay. And just very briefly, Patrick, then we put this graphic on screen. Then I think you wanted to highlight the fact that the EU flag is sitting beside the Ukraine flag there.
Oh, I did. Yeah, on my tour out on my way in, I noticed a few things in there, and it was a little bit shocking. The presence of Ukraine is everywhere in the European Parliament here. Well, I've got a great video actually, just I can talk over, but it was in the previous slide. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. There we go.
In the previous slide. There's a video. I think there it is. That's the one. Yes. Yeah, it's so this is what you see in the rotunda. Safe internet, ban on ads targeting children. That's online safety. No more gas for Putin. This is the courtyard as you walk into the European Union. Energy independence, building Europe's autonomy from Russian fuel. To all workers, fair minimum wage by the end of 2024. At the latest, democracy in action. That's it. The European Parliament. And this was my personal favorite here. Defending democracy, we will stand by Ukraine for as long as it takes. And breakthrough, women will have a fair chance at top jobs, because somehow women aren't accessing top jobs. So that plus all the net zero carbon propaganda, and that's basically like literally walking into the building. It is, the level of propaganda is like something that is incredible. Not even Soviet times they could even hold a candle to the EU. They don't even stylize it. It's just raw gaslighting.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.